Over 992,000 women filed for divorce in 2024.
There is a reason why females are 70% more likely to file for divorce.
They said over 992,000 women filed for divorce in 2024.
Did you guys hear that 900,000 women filed for divorce?
The stats have been updated. Typically, it's about a 1.5 to 2 year log of back data. So everything that happened in 2023, we have complete stats. But we don't have all the complete stats of 2024. But it just updated from 650,000 to 992,000 now that we are about halfway through the year. 992,000 women. I want you guys to understand this. Don't get your lives wrapped up in this. Now, the stats have updated for men also. 330,000 men filed for divorce in 2024. I don't know if this is going to climb even higher, but the stats are just insane. However, women filed for divorce 3 times the amount that men did. So that's crazy. I want you men out here to enjoy your lives. As I've told you, men, if you're in a marriage, if I were you, I would be filing for divorce right now. Don't wait on her to file so you can end up losing all your money like a lot of these men have. So I asked ChatGPT, I said, how much money did men lose in 2024 when it comes to divorce, such as with alimony, 50% of their income, homes, etc.? And that was when the stats were 650,000. ChatGPT said that men lost around $30 billion in 2024 if 650,000 women filed for divorce. Now the stats have updated to 992,000. You may need to wake up and realize something. Enjoy your life. Stop chasing love. You live in a society that has no love.
That is true indeed. We do live in a society that has no love, especially when it comes to marriage. And we have to understand, the justice system gives anything but justice. It really just punishes the father for being there for his family. If 900,000 women did file for divorce in 2024, just imagine how much higher that number will be in a few years. What that number really says is that loyalty in modern women is almost non-existent. It shows how commitment today is conditional, based on how a woman feels in the moment, not the vows she made. And when the legal system rewards her for leaving, what motivation does she have to stay? You have to understand that modern women today see men as a come-up, not as a partner. Many of them don't view relationships through the lens of love, sacrifice, or building something together. They see it as a transaction. A man is no longer someone to grow with. He's someone to take from.
Is because we have no concept when we get married that we are actually making a commitment to another person. We're making a commitment to ourselves, that our vows actually mean something, and that when we get married, we have responsibilities and roles to make it work. As women, we are incredibly short-sighted, and all we think about in getting married is the wedding, the dress, and the party. Have no concept that we are actually stepping into a huge responsibility and a huge commitment that we are making to keep our word and follow through. And women will be the first to argue, my husband broke his vows. My husband does not follow his vows. He's the one that's not committed. Again, that is a projection of ourselves and our own lack of commitment in our marriage.
Oh, wow.
That we have no concept that our vows even mean something. We want to look good, sound good at the wedding, and that's it. For us as women, marriage is the next thing that we are checking off our list of what we think will make us happy in life.
So I had a man today ask me if I was ready for a serious relationship. So to answer that, my aunt suggested this, to start to say, yeah, I'm serious. I'm serious for somebody to take care of my mortgage. I'm serious for someone to take me on vacation. I'm serious about meeting someone that wants to pay a car note and my insurance, that wants to pay my phone bill, my electricity, my internet, that wants to pay for me to get my hair, nails, and lashes done when I want to get them done. Seriously ready for somebody to put gas in my car every Sunday. I'm seriously ready for somebody that, wants to be a stepdaddy. Well, real daddy these days. I don't believe in step. I'm seriously ready for a man that doesn't want other men, because that's a Houston thing. I'm seriously ready for a man who's about that life. So I think that as a man, before you ask someone, are you ready for a serious relationship, think about what serious actually means and define it. Because for me, serious means I'm ready for someone to come in and actually be that HNIC that I need for him to be.
This woman is a perfect example of the types of modern women to avoid. A man asked her if she's ready for a serious relationship. Then she started listing all the things the man should be doing for her, talking about she's ready for a man to take care of her, like she's a dependent. She's not ready for a serious relationship. She's ready for a sponsor. All she wants to do is drop all of her responsibilities on a man and call it a day. These are the type of women who see a relationship as a one-way deal. They want the benefits, the security and the lifestyle a man provides, but without offering real support, partnership, or sacrifice in return. They believe a man's value is measured solely by how much he can provide for them, not by who he is or the love he gives. And here's the truth. This mindset is toxic for any man. It turns relationships into business transactions where the man invests everything and she cashes out the moment she's no longer happy.
Did you guys hear that 900,000 women filed for divorce last year in 2024? Did you also know that 30,000 men filed for divorce last year in 2024? That is over 1 million divorces. It's safe to say marriage doesn't work. Coming from somebody that's been divorced, I've been single for 10 years. It's nice to have maybe a companion, a chick maybe to build something with, but that's about it, man.
They said over 992,000 women filed for divorce in 2024. Why are y'all even getting married? Like, if these marriages lasted anywhere between, 2 years or less, what was the point of y'all? Y'all must be just meeting people, going out to lunch, start having, Max, and then y'all just be like, you know what, forget it. We're going to get gonna get married. Y'all not having no real conversations. Y'all not finding out what people's real morals and values are. What, you know what I'm saying? You're not looking at what they're saying they want in their life and what their actions are showing every day. Y'all not paying attention to none of the important parts of relationships, right? The small things. You don't even know what your deal breakers are most of the time. Oh, if he cheat on me, that's it. That's all y'all know is if he cheat. Y'all don't know nothing else.
I agree, but that being said, there are some pretty valid reasons to leave a marriage. Abuse, infidelity, deceit, or a complete breakdown of trust are all situations where walking away can be the healthiest choice. No one should stay in something that destroys them emotionally, mentally, or physically. However, in today's culture, many marriages don't end for those serious reasons. Some end simply because one person gets bored, feels like they can do better, or wants to chase a fantasy they think they're missing out on. There are even marriages that last 2 years, not because of hardship, but because the person only wanted the experience of being married, not the lifetime of commitment it requires. A lot of them think the grass is greener, and it really isn't. They get caught up in this fantasy that there's always someone better, but in the end, they're left with regret, and pride keeps them from admitting it.
You live in a society of women that listen to celebrities, focus on reality TV stars, and they want to live the life that they live. So that's why they are all chaotic and dramatic the way that they are today. So if you live in a time where women enjoy chaos, what makes you think that a marriage will work? You signing a piece of paper is only going to have you ending up in divorce court.
When women say that they're missing something in their marriage, they are meaning that they are missing out on their hoe phase or have missed out on their hoe phase because they wasted so many years on their family. They have been brainwashed into believing that there's more to life than growing little humans, watching your family grow, and building an empire with a man. When women say that something is missing and more exciting, it means that they want to be single for a little bit, go be a hoe, and still come back and be a wife. And that's just not how it works. Additionally, what's actually insane is that this woman says it's been the best week of her life. Do you want to know why it's been the best week of her life? It's because she's getting the attention and the validation that women crave. Women will only be happy when they are getting the validation that they need, whether that's in their marriage or outside of their marriage. So what ends up happening is that their husbands give them all of the attention and all of the validation, and it becomes boring. It becomes habitual. It becomes like fake because they're so used to it. But some outside stranger can give them that same amount of attention, and it means more to her than it does from her husband, because she's used to her husband always being there. You have to think about it as like a shiny new toy. Okay? So when you get like a new TV, a new car, it's exciting, it's fun, it's everything you want it to be. But as soon as the newness wears off, now it's old and it's boring. And that's exactly what happens in relationships. And they think that the grass is greener on the other side. This is also a perfect example of how so many women want the ring and want the wedding and want all of the things, but when the responsibility of being a wife actually shows up, they're bored and uninspired. Most women want fathers, not partners. What do I mean by that? It means that they want to be taken care of. They want their bills paid. They want to be able to go and do whatever the hell they want, when they want to do it, disrespect their husbands in the name of like girlhood.
That's correct. When a woman says something is missing in her marriage, but can't even explain what it is, even though everything is going well, what she really misses is the streets. And let's be honest, those are broken women. They have a man who's providing, being loyal, caring for them, and building a future together. Yet they convince themselves they're unfulfilled simply because they crave attention, excitement, or validation from other men. They'll say everything is fine, that there's no real problem, but somehow they feel differently. That feeling is often just boredom and a lack of discipline. Instead of appreciating stability, they romanticize chaos, they mistake peace for dullness, and they mistake consistency for a lack of passion. The sad part is, these women will ruin a good marriage chasing that temporary thrill, and when the streets chew them up and spit them out, they start longing for the very stability they threw away. But by then, it's too late.
And doing what they want and being free while simultaneously still being a wife, and that's just not realistic or how it works. You don't get to disrespect your husband time and time again while he takes care of the household and you do nothing. This is also a perfect example of how so many women are just scrolling online all of the time, and they're getting advice from their friends, they're getting advice from their family. Somebody needs to go check on that man, because imagine going to every family function here on out or going out with their friends together, and everybody knows that this woman doesn't want to be with this man. This man is saving face. This man has been humiliated online, and this woman thinks that it's the best week of her life. So the best week of your life is humiliating your husband because your marriage is supposedly working? No, it's the attention and validation that makes you feel like your marriage is working. Promise you, the majority of women will always put their feelings above anybody else. Women will always put their needs and how they feel above how their husband feels. 100% of the time. Because why is it not for a single second a thought or a consideration, if you really love this man, what it might do if he gets less time with his kids? She sat down and thought about all of the logistics, but never thought about how it might make him feel. It was all about her. It was all about what she needed and how they were going to split the time and all of that, because it was what was going to fulfill her, but not about the husband, who's also put in 10 years and been trapped with a woman who is basically saying she's been missing out for the last 10 years. Imagine if the roles were reversed and a man came online and said that he's been with his wife for 10 years and he doesn't feel fulfilled, or, they're lacking in intimacy. Y'all would be up in the comments saying that he's a piece of shit because you can't force your wife to have sex with you, or like she's doing the best she can and she's burnt out. But y'all are not giving that same energy for this man. I promise you, the day that a woman comes online and wants to talk about you and humiliate you like this to this extent and admit to the world that she's never wanted a long-term relationship with you and that she's been missing something, that would be the day that I sign the divorce papers and never talk to her again. A lot of you need to stop fearing losing everything, because there is happiness on the other side of this kind of bullshit. This woman is addicted to the validation and the attention that she's getting from this post, and that is why she feels like it's the best day of her life or the week of her life, and she doesn't care about how it affects her husband.
Well, the thing is, some of these women in marriages are just selfish. It's them and their feelings over everything, and you can't tell them otherwise. Their emotions dictate their next move, and that's not even meant as an insult. It's simply the reality of what happens in many marriages. Logic, loyalty, and long-term thinking get thrown out the window the moment they feel something different, even if nothing is actually wrong. This woman was discussing another woman who was ready to leave her good husband, even though there was no real issue in the marriage. He was providing, faithful, caring, and still she wanted out. The lesson here is simple. No matter what a man does, it will never be enough for certain women. You could be the perfect provider, the perfect partner, and the most loving husband, and they'll still convince themselves they're missing something. That's why the best thing a man can do is work on himself, not to impress or win over someone who will never appreciate it.